Hi, it's Lauren with LaurenTeachesFlute.com and welcome to today's tutorial. So in today's video we're going to be talking about articulation and specifically single tonguing on the flute. So single tonguing is the most basic form of articulation that we do. It's typically the way we start off tonguing and articulating on the flute, and that is when we start the note that we're playing with a ta kind of sound. You know, the T consonant, or we could even do a da or a do kind of sound with a D. So in order to do this, we'll go in steps, and we'll kind of put it all together, and then I'll go through some common problems that might come up later in the video. So yeah, so in order to do this, let's start with T sound. So the tip of your tongue is going to touch the roof of your mouth just behind the teeth, just behind the two front teeth. Ta, ta, ta. And you can even say da, da, da. Both are acceptable. The T is like a little bit more crisp and forward. The D sound is a little more delicate and light kind of articulation. So both are acceptable, and you can just experiment and do whichever one works best for you for now. But eventually I think you'll like to use both depending on what you're playing. So yeah, so tip of the tongue, tip, 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 ta, 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 or da, 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 right behind the teeth. And then step number one, after we talk about what the tongue's actually doing, is we can say it. So we can say ta, 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 or da, da, da. We can even say tu, 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 or do, do, do. So the reason I'm changing my vowel shape in the mouth is because this is something else that you can experiment with. I find that in my low register, when I'm playing low notes, that kind of ah shape feels really good and sounds really good for me to get like a really nice full low note sound. But if I'm playing in the high register and maybe I'm playing a little bit quieter, maybe two, you know, maybe the oo shape inside my mouth is more beneficial. So this is experimenting and practicing and things that you can work with when you're learning to single tongue, and see what sounds the strongest, the best, the most, and what feels the most comfortable for you. And again, I mean, eventually you'll be using all of these, but just, you know, kind of experiment with all those. And then after that, after saying it, we'll simulate it on by making an airstream hit the palm of the hand. So form your flute embouchure. You can check with a mirror, make sure it looks really nice, and then direct strong air column on your hand, and then add the tonguing. So it'll sound like this. Okay, and again you can use ta, 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 or da, da, da. Alright, so after that, then you can finally try it on the head joint. I'm going to be putting the palm of my hand on the end just so it's a little softer and a little bit lower sound, it's warmer. So here it goes. I'll try it. So try that for a while. And if that's working okay, then feel free to follow me to the next step where we put the whole flute together. And once it's assembled, we'll go ahead and try single tonguing on the note B. So I'd like to do B, A, G, all three notes, but to keep this video kind of moving along, we'll work with B today, and then just do the same thing with A and G once we're done talking about B. So yeah, go ahead and play a B. Maybe I'll play 5 Bs and then you can join in with me. Try to match my note length as well. So here it is. Ready, together. Good. So if that's easy, you can play around with the note lengths. So you can play with a very long notes and support. So you want to think of using warm air, so take that deep full breath. We talked about in the first tutorial, it's breathing from the bottom up. Fill up the stomach, fill up the lungs, shoulders relaxed, and try sustaining by using warm air. So you should feel your stomach muscles engage. So it'll be like this, so long continuous notes. Now together, ready, go. So that was really just one air stream, and my tongue was splitting the air. So then you can try notes with more bounce by saying ha, 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 ha. You can try that on the tube. So I'm not tonguing, I'm just using the H kind of sound. And then add like a little cherry on top, add a light tonguing on top of that. So it'll sound like. So it feels like I'm mostly articulating with my stomach muscles, and then you can try it on the actual lip plate. Good, so then you don't have to use quite as much oomph in the sound. You can kind of just keep your stomach engaged, but not so punching with the air. So, and just make really short, light notes like this. Something like that. You can try it again. Ready, set, go. And then you can punch the notes, ha, 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 ta, 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 like this. Ready, go. Good. So those are several ways you can single tongue. The kicking of the stomach muscles is more, I feel like, of a tone exercise. You'll kind of just keep the stomach firm and engaged and use warm air and have a nice solid sound. So I'm still using warm air, but I wasn't punching it quite as much. I hope all that makes sense. So after that, practice it on A and G. You might need to use slower, warmer air on the low G, since it is a lower note. You might even widen the aperture the tiniest bit. Just open it up the tiniest bit to give you more sound. Also make sure the jaw isn't clenched on any of these notes, but especially on the low G. So I think that's it as far as single tonguing today. Now I'm going to get into the troubleshooting. So there's 6 common problems I could think of for this video, so I'm going to share them with you rather quickly. So number 1, when I'm working with students and they're first learning to single tongue, troubleshooting pitfall that might happen is the student might not actually be tonguing. They might actually just be saying ah, 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 and it feels like with the throat, and it sounds like. So make sure you don't fall into that category. That's definitely something that like you can definitely tell you're kind of like tightening the throat up first and then releasing it, and you really just want to keep your windpipe open the whole time. So just make sure that you are tonguing, and if you can't quite tell, you can check with just saying it and simulating it, you know, here and on here, just to make sure you can really feel it and have less things to focus on, like the flute tone and everything. So number 2 is probably the most common pitfall. It's the air direction. So I will often see students, they have a great you know, nice strong sound. And they might push air through closed lips up until now, and creating a really nice sound. But when they go to tongue, they might do something like this. So that's simply just aiming the air too far out here, and it's not coming into contact with the flute. So what you can do to remedy this is put your palm up, face forward, nice embouchure shape, pouty, puckered, and angle the air down and feel an airstream hit the palm of your hand. Once you can do that, then add the tonguing. You might want to use a mirror just to make sure your embouchure is staying nice and in place. And once you do that, you can maybe simulate it here with your finger down here while tonguing, and then try it again on the flute and see if you get better results. So pitfall number 3 that I notice a lot is that the tongue might be getting in the way inside the mouth. So the tonguing might sound more like this. And when you play on the flute, it's very S-y, like an S kind of sound. Very airy sound, because the tongue is in the way. So make sure that you're tonguing on the tip of the tongue. And so it's ta, ta, ta. And kind of think of yourself as an opera singer. So form clear vowel shapes in the mouth. An opera singer wouldn't necessarily sing t with the tongue in the way. They would sing something like ta, or they would sing tu. So you can try something like that, or imagine a small apple in the middle of your mouth when you play. And hopefully you'll get a fuller, clearer sound if that is might be an issue for you. All right, and pitfall number 4 is to start and stop the note with the tongue. So that's something you want to avoid. This is not what you want to do. Just make sure you are releasing the note by releasing the airstream. Same thing as saying ta, 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 or so a nice open end to each of the notes. And then number 5 is resetting the embouchure too much when you're tonguing. So that might look something like this. Something like that. Well, you know, a variation of that. Also, what might happen when you're doing that is your jaw might be moving up and down. So just for this, just be aware of it and use a mirror and know that you want to have like a set shape. So nothing's really moving when I'm doing that. My jaw isn't moving. So a lot of times the student that might be new to this might drop the jaw in order to single tongue every time. To, to, to. So you want to keep your jaw in the position that it would be when you're sustaining the note. So it's going to be like a more of a to kind of position. So make sure that your jaw stays down if you're chewing, and make sure that you are staying set when you're doing this. And you can use a mirror for that and check and make sure it's looking pretty solid and consistent. So troubleshooting number 6 tip. The 6th tip kind of goes with the 5th tip a little bit. Sometimes when we start tonguing and we're not pushing air through closed lips anymore, like this, we tend to let the aperture get very, very large and not, you know, finessed or anything. So it might sound something like this. So you might be using almost all of your air on every note. So in order to maybe tweak this, you can get a straw, flatten the tip of it so it's kind of similar to what your embouchure shape will look like. Use your flute embouchure, so again, pouty puckered lips, not rolling in, but kind of the inner lining is going to be on the straw, and you're going to tongue. kick it away and see if you can maintain that aperture. So I'll do it again. So you see what I'm doing there? So this can be helpful to kind of train your aperture, what it needs to do and how much of your lips need to be open and how that feels. So your lips are staying open the whole time, and that's difficult sometimes when starting out. You want to like close your lips to reset it, like. So you want to work to keep your lips open. That's closing the lips in between, and this is keeping them open, which is the correct way. So that's another kind of pitfall, is that you might be closing your mouth in between. So that's a bonus one, number 7. So make sure everything's just set and in position, and you can kind of train yourself with a straw to maintain the best ideal aperture shape. So I think that's it. I think that's everything for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found some of these tips helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below for more tutorials like this one. Alright, so thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!